Ellen DeGeneres is under fire again after more co-workers from her show have stepped forward with accusations of a toxic work environment.
This TV producer is speaking out on camera for the first time about what it was like working for Ellen DeGeneres.
Toxic, phony, hypocrite, liar.
For 19 seasons, Ellen DeGeneres signed off her show with two simple words: be kind. Millions trusted her. Celebrities adored her. She seemed untouchable. But behind the cameras, something very different was happening. Now, even more former employees are saying the be kind mantra was a lie, a mask to hide a toxic work culture. They describe a workplace filled with fear, intimidation, and silence. One senior staffer was allegedly asked to postpone their child's bone marrow transplant to avoid disrupting the show's production schedule. Another described the Ellen gaze as a queen searching for her next execution. Turns out the be kind girl wasn't kind. So what did Ellen really do behind closed doors? And why did so many employees live in fear?
I think that I was a nice person to begin with, and I hope I've gotten nicer. I don't think you achieve anything by bullying people. I think we help a lot of people. I love making people happy and making people feel good, but it is who I am.
Ellen DeGeneres has built her worldwide multi-million-dollar brand on the motto, be kind, with lavish giveaways and acts of charity. But behind the scenes, former employees on her daytime TV show say they faced racism, fear, and intimidation. That be kind BS only happens when the cameras are on. One former employee told BuzzFeed News back in 2020, "It's all for show." But it seems like that was just the tip of the iceberg, because all these years later, even more former employees are coming out to expose Ellen, and it is worse than people thought. You see, Ellen DeGeneres' reputation as the kindest celebrity in America was shattered years ago. But it's not just her mean streak that's the problem. It's that she was allegedly an exploitative boss who cheated her employees at the height of the pandemic. Back when she first got exposed, you might have gotten the impression that the crisis was solely about the collapse of DeGeneres' image as the nicest, kindest star. She closed every show telling us to be kind to one another, a motto she has monetized with her Be Kind by Ellen merchandising brand. That sells seasonal boxes filled with Ellen's favorite hand-picked products, claiming that each box spreads kindness and champions brands that do the same. In contrast to this image, an onslaught of accounts by employees and guests attest to the fact that she isn't so kind behind the scenes.
We were told from the very beginning, don't talk to Ellen, don't do this, you can't go into her office. It was very nerve-wracking, very stressful. We all walked on eggshells all the time.
Now, the thing that was lost is that the initial cause of the scandal was that her employees got fed up after a labor dispute, and that's what set the ball rolling. In particular, the revelation of DeGeneres was shafting her longtime crew during the COVID-19 crisis. Crew members from Ellen DeGeneres' long-running daytime talk show are distressed and outraged over their treatment from top producers amid the coronavirus pandemic. Numerous insiders affiliated with the Ellen Show told Variety that the core stage crew for the show, consisting of more than 30 employees, received no written communication about the status of their working hours, pay, or inquiries about their mental and physical health from producers for over a month. Higher-ups in production would occasionally answer phone calls but reveal little. The crew was further incensed by the show's recent hire of an outside, non-union tech company to help DeGeneres tape remotely from her home in California. When production executives finally did weigh in, nearly all crew members were told last week to brace for a 60% reduction in pay. Even as the show continues to air, only 4 core crew members currently work on the remote version of the broadcast. Insiders find this treatment to be totally inconsistent with DeGeneres' daily message to her audiences, be kind. For more than 2 weeks from late March through April 9th, 2020, crew members from lighting to camera operators to grips were left in the dark about if and how much they would be paid. Phone calls to crew members from a production coordinator at Telepictures, the Warner Brothers unit that produced Ellen, were sporadic and often lacked any information before and after the 14-day blackout. The lack of transparency continued as DeGeneres expanded her output from hosting 4 shows a week to 5, shot over 2 days. Radio silence from producers created anxiety among crew members, who feared they would be furloughed and, in that case, would need to explore unemployment benefits. And that was the final straw for most of her employees.
I called her out. I was like, Ellen's not that nice.
This was after you went on the show?
After I went on the show.
What was it like meeting Ellen? And is she a good person?
Let's just all go back to 2017, where I was the first person to call Ellen out before anyone outfit.
You called her out?
A black woman who used to work on the Ellen DeGeneres Show told BuzzFeed News she experienced racist comments, actions, and microaggressions during her year and a half as an employee. She said when she was hired, a senior-level producer told her and another black employee, "I'm sorry, I only know the names of the white people who work here." Other co-workers awkwardly laughed it off instead of coming to her defense. When the former employee brought up issues of race and representation on the show and asked producers not to use offensive terms like spirit animal in segments, her colleagues called her the PC police. When she started to speak up about the discrimination, all of her colleagues distanced themselves from her. Whenever she brought up an issue to her white male boss, she said he would bring up some random story about some random black friend that he had and how they managed to get over stuff. He would use his black friend as some way to say, "I understand your struggle, but it was all performative BS." After 1 year at Ellen, she said she asked for a raise after learning another recent hire made double for doing the same job. Despite her having worked in the television industry for a decade, her manager told her they'd see what they could do, but months went by and nothing happened. The former employee said she was also called into a meeting with executive producer Ed Glavin, where she was reprimanded for her objections to the term spirit animal, asking for a raise, and suggesting that employees on the show receive diversity and inclusion training. He said that I was walking around looking resentful and angry, she said. After the meeting, she left work for the day and never returned to the Ellen DeGeneres Show. She said she has no plans to ever work in the entertainment industry again. For years, she felt a fear of speaking out, but she is now inspired to share her experience because of recent conversations about race, Hollywood, and other workplaces. "I feel like I'm not alone in this," she said. "We all feel this. We've been feeling this way, but I've been too afraid to say anything because everyone knows what happens when you say something as a black person. You're blacklisted." The former employee also said her manager from Ellen recently reached out to her amid the Black Lives Matter protest to apologize for not being a better ally. But the former employee said it's too little, too late. Ellen is really mean. She doesn't even pay her workers their salary or be kind to them. She has a huge mansion and she claims to feel like she's in prison. What a privileged Karen. She may pretend to be nice around celebs, but not around her staff. The evidence is just way too compelling. It's clear that she's not the nice person she claims to be. Almost nobody is coming to her defense. Man, that's so disappointing. She did a fantastic job hiding her true self.
The Ellen situation.
Yeah.
You know, people found out that Ellen was mean, and all these people came out and said, Ellen's actually a bitch. And then we're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Can't believe it. And she lost everything. She fell apart, disappeared, because people found out that this character that she was portraying in a half an hour on a television show is not really who she was. My buddy Greg, who was one of her writers, was like, she's a piece of shit. And he was like, she's a monster.
After working on the Ellen DeGeneres Show for nearly a year, one former employee said they took medical leave for 1 month to check into a mental health facility for a suicide attempt. But the week they returned to work, they were told their position was being eliminated. You'd think that if someone just tried to end their lives, you don't want to add any more stress to their lives, the employee told BuzzFeed News. Their story was corroborated by 4 other employees and medical records. Some of the producers talked openly in public about addiction and mental health awareness, but they were the reason there was a stigma. They definitely didn't practice what they preach with the Be Kind mantra. Another former employee said they were fired after an unexpectedly difficult year. They required time away from the job on 3 occasions, medical leave for 3 weeks after they were in a car accident, working remotely for 2 days to attend a family member's funeral, and then 3 days off to travel for another family member's funeral. Each request was a battle with supervisors and HR. That's the definition of a toxic work environment, where they make you feel like you're going insane and then you're like, no, everything I was feeling was right. It was all leading up to this, the former staffer said. Their story was corroborated by 5 former employees and medical records. The Be Kind mask has slipped. Behind the smiles, the dancing, and the viral moments, there was a culture of fear, intimidation, and silence. Pay inequality, retaliation, and employees who were discarded when they needed help the most. The question isn't whether Ellen DeGeneres knew. The question is, how did she let this happen? How many employees were pushed to the breaking point? How many were silenced? How many will never work in this industry again? And the most important question of all was, be kind, just a marketing strategy, a way to sell merchandise, a way to build a brand, or did Ellen really believe it? The crew was told to brace for a 60% pay cut. A black employee employee was called the PC Police for speaking up. A woman who attempted suicide was fired upon her return. Another was fired after attending 2 funerals. A pattern of cruelty, hidden behind a mask of kindness. Comment below with your thoughts. Do you believe Ellen's "Be Kind" mantra was genuine, or was it all for show? And what do you think should happen next?